a honest anxiety. Many of us have been scammed. I have accidentally clicked on links and inputted my information, thinking it was the bank, thinking it was the post office, thinking it was something else. What this platform offers is that it is powered by a software called District that has buyer and seller protection. So if you are a buyer and you do not get your items, or your items are very broken, you have room, you have grounds to place a case against that purchase and to basically get your money back. The same with the seller. If the seller says, no, this item delivered, this was their shipping address, and the buyer says, well, I just inputted the wrong shipping address, that's actually on the buyer. I know some of us have experienced that, where a buyer pays on PayPal and it's the wrong shipping address. And like, as a seller, we're like, okay, yeah, that's your shipping address. But the buyer never tells us anything different. It's, you know, like that's what the address was. So it goes both ways. But as a buyer, I want you to feel 100% confident that your information, whether it's a credit card or PayPal, will not be shared, that your address information, it is only shared to the seller, and that if you do have an issue, you can place a case. Now, there's not like a big button on vintagejoyaddicts.com that's like, place a case. It is a link. It is in the help section of District. But as the founder, if you feel like you need to do that, please reach out to me or please comment in one of the chat channels. One of our team will get to you ASAP. And, you know, again, please just know that just like eBay, just like Etsy, just like Depop, that, you know, this is a safe place for you to buy. Facebook Marketplace, maybe not so much, just because that is super peer-to-peer, and it's, you know, the payment information isn't really protected by PayPal. You're basically being like, hey, here's my Venmo, or hey, here's my PayPal. But here on District, your information is safe and secure. So, can you guys hear me? My husband just called me. I should have texted him. And welcome in, guys. If you are a buyer that I have tagged recently, hold on, guys. I can't answer. I really need to tell my husband not to call me. He always calls me while I'm live. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Sometimes it cuts out the sound. Okay, so that was the first point that I wanted to make. And if you guys have any questions about that, you are more than welcome to ask. Okay, secondly, why I love Vintage Jewelry Addicts and what we have created is that we have created a sense of stability and a sense of structure. And that stability and structure comes from our subscribers. So as a subscriber, any seller who's a subscriber, this is not for buyers, for sellers, they can sell on the weekend, during the day, and at night. And when they sell at night, their live sales are promoted, they are announced, and they become a part of an automatic 90-minute live sale train, which enables you as the buyer to know in your head, hey, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, starting at 5:30 EST, I can go shopping, I can go live shopping on vintagejewelryaddicts.com. Now, throughout the week, we have different trains and pop-up sales from anyone, okay? So that can be, you know, just any seller who's not a subscriber can decide that today, this is a Monday, at 3 p.m., they're just going to go live. And then the trains are organized by either myself or a leader seller whom wants to organize a train under a theme. And we do our best to promote these trains. Now, if you're not active in the community where you're checking the chat channels or tuning into my founders chats, you might miss the trains. But for your knowledge, and again, this is the structure and the stability that I love, is that the second Tuesday of every month is our sterling train. And so that is tomorrow, vintage sterling. And so, as in silver sterling, so 0.925. So that's always the second Tuesday. And then we always have a featured designer train That is the second Wednesday, and that is Costume Designer Train. And at the end of the month, we do a cross marketplace train with Mr. Eccentric Vintage Emporium, which is another marketplace here. The trains in between, they vary, but we are actively scheduling trains so that you as the buyer, you have at least one train during the week to hop on. And it may or may not be a theme that you like. The idea is that we're creating these theme trains. So again, if you're someone that loves Bakelite, you can get on a Bakelite, which we haven't done that yet. You can get on a Bakelite train and you can buy from multiple sellers and you can have a Bakelite live shopping experience. So again, if you're not tuned into the chat channels or listening to the Founders Chat, what I recommend you do is sign up for our newsletter. I sporadically share this. Again, it's not something you see when you log on to join Vintage Jewelry Addicts, but if you ever see me talk about the newsletter, if you sign up, I'm pretty good about sending out a newsletter with our train information. So I sent out a newsletter this morning about our vintage sterling train tomorrow, so that anyone who just wants to remember, they're like, oh, okay, that's tomorrow. And then also tomorrow, when the train kicks off, there will be a newsletter blast. Additionally, you can turn on all your notifications. You might decide, oh, wow, this is a lot of notifications. I totally understand. There is a way in your settings, and I'm going to show you guys really quickly how to get to your settings, where you can actually turn off notifications for certain things, but keep it for the live sales. Okay, so let me show you guys. If you go to your avatar, upper right hand corner, this is desktop, and you go to settings, and then you go to notifications, you can decide which notifications you would like to keep on. Alrighty. And I do recommend you can turn off the email notifications if that's something you don't want, but I would keep the app notifications. I think it's a lot easier to ignore the app notifications. The email notifications you might be bothered by, but I would keep the purchase confirmations. If you're a seller, I would keep, your sale confirmations. And then you can decide anything else that you are interested in keeping. So we do want to make sure that you guys know that you do have control, but also the platform is designed to let you know, like, hey, like, we just use the at channel, which is like the at all on Facebook. So it notifies everyone in the channel that a post has been made. And I try not to abuse it, So keep them on, see how you like it, turn them off to figure out, okay, maybe I don't want all of these notifications on. But if you do want to get that email blast about the trains, make sure that you look for when I share how to sign up. I can't really do it right now, unfortunately, but I do sporadically share out that link. Okay, so that's about shopping our live sales, but we have more. We have 8,000, more than 8,000 listings more. And guys, I have a vision as of this morning that we will hit 10,000 listings by September 1st. This is going to be the summer of listings. All right. I haven't figured out how to create this into a challenge, but we have 8,100 listings. Again, to our buyers, it might be more pleasant for you to shop from the app if you have an iPhone app. But desktop is also really nice because if you're losing your vision like I am, you can make the screen much larger to look at items. So right now, I've just clicked all listings, okay? But I want our buyers to know that here at Vintage Jewelry Addicts, we have created collections so that our buyers can decide, okay, I'm into antique 100 plus years items. And let's see, did that work? Maybe it didn't. Hold on. Did that do it? Buy it now. Okay, that's featured sellers. Hold on. I'm trying. Wait, did it do it? I think it's being very slow. But if you choose one of the collections, hoping this works. Okay, I don't know why the Jordache purse is in there. But you can scroll through to see what has been tagged. Now, I do admit some of these have not been tagged correctly, but some of them have been tagged correctly, and it's going to give you a better shot of finding what you were looking for. Additionally, you can actually search for listings using a search term of your preference. However, it does bring up listings for all district marketplaces. So you might actually see Vintage Jewelry Addicts next to other marketplaces when you search for something specific. So I'm going to put Sterling just as an example. Okay. And okay, you can see that Lily Works is also featured here. Knickknacks is featured. I don't see Vintage Jewelry Addicts yet. Vamp is featured. But what you can do is you can deselect all markets and choose My Markets, which means it should just show the markets that you are in, that you have chosen to join. Okay, finally, Vintage Jewelry Addicts right here. But again, guys, the search functionality is there so that you can try to find what you are looking for as a buy it now. You can also click shuffle, and that will actually give you just a random showing. So it's still on Sterling, and then it will just basically randomize the search results. It actually, ironically, has given us people with the last name of Sterling. David, I think you should rechange your name to Sterling. And then if you want to sort by most relevant, recent, price low to high, price high to low, A to Z, most viewed, trending, you can do that. Yes, and I think that's like a great actual, let's see, I don't think David's going to show up because Starbright does not have Sterling in it. But if you guys as sellers, let's say you are shopping David of Starbright Collect, right? And you're like, I really like David. David, I'm just going to unfollow you really quickly. Okay. So, and you're like, I like his sales. I like his stuff. You can follow. And as long as your notifications are turned on, you can actually get notifications wherever David is live. So if David chooses to go live in other marketplaces, I will get an alert that he is live. I can also more easily head over to his feed and I can see all of his scheduled shows, which is great. David has scheduled shows through July 26th. So again, I can make a mental note that, okay, David has 5 shows scheduled for July. And then, most importantly, I can check out his listings. Now, many of these listings are scheduled for live sales, but buyers, you can pre-bid. Now, what does pre-bid mean? Pre-bid means that even if you're not on the live sale, if you like the way this looks and you're confident, you can place a pre-bid, and it can be exactly the starting auction price, or if you think it's going to get kind of competitive, you could maybe double it, right? And you can say, well, dang, I really want this. I'm going to place a pre-bid of $30. And then as long as no one bids over you, you will actually win that item as long as David runs it on the live sale. Here's another great one. Actually, this is really beautiful. Really beautiful. Love that. Now, these, again, are all pre-scheduled. And so you only know if you'll win it if David runs it on his live sale and no one bids over you. But you can also scroll down. And again, I'm using Starbright as an example. But you can scroll down and see where the buy it nows are listed. And our sellers are great at writing a description, but you might have a question. right? You might be like, well, I'm curious about this with this item. That's so cool, David. I have this question, right? Click Starbright and send him a chat. You can see David and I have long conversations, so I won't show you our long conversations. But you can send him a message. I want our buyers to feel comfortable messaging the sellers, asking, actually, I'm sorry, right down there it says message seller. Sorry about that, guys. But you can also click through here. Now, you do not have to buy it now as long as the seller has opened up the option to make an offer. I don't think any offer is ridiculous because the seller can always counter you. So just know that the sellers can counter you. But if you want the seller to send you an offer, and sellers, we've talked about this before, but when you see that someone has liked your item, send them an offer, right? This is what I do on eBay as a buyer. I will add things to my watch list just to see if the seller will send me an offer, especially if they don't have the make an offer option on. And so buyers, just know that you're kind of poking the seller hey, I like this, send me an offer. So now if David wants, he can send me an offer. Maybe he'll send it to me for $25. And I might be that's cool. And then I can press accept. Okay. So you can also learn a little bit more about our top sellers. Of course, we want all sellers to feel like they have great stuff and that they should be purchased from. But we do have sellers that are, leaders on the leaderboard, which shows that they're active. You can see, how many items they've sold. I think that just gives you as the buyer a little bit more confidence in purchasing. But again, we do have new sellers who are listing every single day. And if you want to scroll through the sellers, you can also do that by visiting the homepage, and you can just see, okay, Ladybug GTV has 136 listings. Let me check her out because I like ladybugs. I mean, you might just have your own reasons for checking out a seller. Ladybug, her name is Maria. She's got beautiful photos, really, really clear. And again, you can message her. You can go back. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, that was a burp. And see what else she has. She has a ton of buy it now listings. And again, if you like one and you just want to give her a little heart, she might send you an offer. I think what is also nice about going through our sellers is you can see who has the most listings. Lisa has 2,800, which is unbelievable. Jody, can we talk about Jody? Jody, the Vintage Vault, she formerly owned a vintage jewelry store not too far from where I live now, and was fortunate enough to keep a ton of her inventory when she shut down the store. And that is why she has over 1,000 buy it now items. And it looks like she is running a sale right now. Let me see. Where does it say that? Okay. It doesn't have a cross out here. But she has reduced some prices and her photos are beautiful. And again, as a former vintage store owner, vintage jewelry store owner, she has some really fabulous inventory. We have a number of former vintage jewelry store owners selling with Vintage Jewelry Addicts, which makes me so happy because I want those that have been, professionals in the industry to feel like they can still nurture that career, if not make the same amount of money or even make more because they have less overhead. This is a Coro Cameo. And again, guys, you can always make an offer or you can just add to cart. And then you can go check out your cart. And it doesn't have the shipping or tax yet. If you go to check out one item, it will show you the shipping and the tax. And buyers, just FYI, most of our sellers understand how to do something called progressive shipping. So let's say I want to buy something else from Jody. I want to buy these owl brooches, okay? So I've added 2 items to my cart, right? And then the shipping has only increased by 50 cents. So you're not being charged $5 per item. You're being charged a very nominal fee per item. And what I have noticed about our sellers, which is not required, but what I have noticed is our sellers understand that if they don't need to charge $8 for shipping and their buyers are charged $8 for shipping just because maybe they bought 10 things, they will send you a refund. I've had many refunds. I'm always pleasantly surprised. I'm like, oh, cool, I got a refund. And it's because, again, this is a community and we want our buyers to feel like they're appreciated. They can keep coming back. When we go on eBay, when we go on Depop, we may or may not just make one purchase from one seller and that's it. We never go back to that seller. Vintage Jewelry Addicts is designed so that you guys go, oh, I really like Elsie, the thrifting teacher, and she's been refunding me and she gave me a heads up about something, or I messaged her because I had more questions and she got back to me. And again, that's why, our name is Addicts, because we do expect our buyers to be addicts and want to come back over and over again. But the advantage, again, of buying from a seller over and over again is you just get these perks. And I'd say the bare minimum perk is that our sellers care and want to give you refunds on overcharges on shipping. Yes, Elsie. Yep. Elsie in the comments mentioned flat rate plus a minimal charge for each additional piece. Yep. And again, even if, it's too much after that additional rate per piece, I've gotten refunds. So, okay, cool. So that I think is pretty clear. Again, this is me. I don't want to swear on a buyer's welcome, but it's me shooting the what to talk to you guys as buyers about how to participate with our platform. And I'm very positive, but we do have a couple of things that I will mention that I'm hoping that the software that powers this whole machine gets to. It's just that, I don't work for the software. I think that can be kind of confusing. I don't work for the software. I don't really have any power there. But a few things is that there is an Android app for sellers. It's still being worked on for buyers. To my knowledge, it's coming. Been saying this for a while. So if you are an Android user, your best bet is to open up a laptop and to use the laptop. You can go on Safari and you can log on your phone using Safari or Explorer, whatever. It might not be the best experience for you. So our iPhone buyers, you guys have the best experience with the app. So it's going to be a big party when that Android buyers app is open, let me tell you. Another thing for you guys as buyers, many of you are familiar with Whatnot. We love Whatnot. I love Whatnot. And the difference between, our live sales and Whatnot's live sales is that you can't bookmark. And I know bookmarking is so important because we're all so busy and we forget. So when I say to make a mental note, I really mean it because you can't bookmark. I haven't asked directly about bookmarking recently. I'm praying that it's coming. I think it's like one of the most important parts of helping the buyers, helping you guys to know, like, okay, cool. Like I like this seller, let me bookmark. And I like this train, let me bookmark. So again, that's why I try to be really active with founders chats and the emails so that you guys know what's happening. So fingers crossed that bookmarking comes soon. But again, like all things, pros and cons, one of the pros with District is that shipping can be refunded. Items can be refunded. It's very difficult on Whatnot. It's possible, but it's very difficult. And so I don't know if Whatnot necessarily is a pro buyer place as much as what we've built over here with Vintage Jewelry Addicts. And so I hope that gives you a little bit more understanding as to maybe why you would want to shop here versus other live sale platforms. Additionally, if you are a buyer and you ever want to become a seller, because you're just like, oh, this is really cool, and I'm an addict, and I have a lot of stuff, and I want to sell, we would love to have you. It's as easy as applying, answering a few questions. We only decline people when they say that they're going to sell something. That's absolutely not what we allow in the marketplace, because clearly they just did not see that we're named Vintage Jewelry Addicts. But if you're selling jewelry and accessories, you are good to go. No clothing, no housewares, no games, no Pokemon, no, we are a jewelry and accessories platform. And there's really never any pressure here. Just really quickly, the only requirement I would say is that you're somewhat active within 4 months. We will deactivate people's seller statuses every 4 months if we see that they haven't done anything. But we don't require people to host a live sale every month or post 10 items. But we do, deactivate people. And it's really honestly just because I don't want it to say 1,000 sellers and only, 40 people are active as sellers. So if you ever want to come back, that's totally fine. We would never hold it against you. You can just be like, oh, okay, my, status was deactivated. I was busy. I'll just come back. But I will end on the fact that with a 43% increase between April 1st and July 1st, 2024, and April 1st and July 1st, 2025, we are quickly growing. And what I've learned in my entrepreneurial life is that it is good to get on the ground floor. That is a phrase that comes from multi-level marketing, like Amway and things like that. But it makes sense because the more established you become, when you see, when you as a buyer see a seller that has 2,000 sales, you're probably going to think, oh, I want to buy from them. So it can be a little bit harder to get started as a new seller. So I definitely encourage anyone to take the leap. And we do offer a Zoom training once a month, which is a seller Zoom training. This is just, a friendly chat here on District, but the Zoom training does have a screen share so that you can see what I'm showing you on the platform. It's a lot more easy to follow along. And then the last thing that I would like the buyers to know is that their ISOs, aka in search ofs, if you guys are looking for something in particular, please do not hesitate using our chat channels. I'm going to show them to you here on desktop. So I have an ISO, and David knows his ISO. He's still in the chat, I think. I'm always looking for chain bells. It's also because I'm a reseller, but I wear them myself. If you are a buyer and you're looking for Victorian hair pieces, pieces from the Victorian era that actually have the original hair, I mean, that's like a very niche genre. And you don't see it in the marketplace, or you can't find it because there's 8,000 listings. You can't find it. Go into our community chat, which is right here, and do not hesitate sharing your in search of or hopping onto someone's live sale and even asking them, do you have this? Because our best sellers, they will go, oh, you know what? I do. I can't show it to you, but can I message you later? And that's the other beautiful benefit about being a part of a Vintage Jewelry Addict community is our sellers will want to give you that customer service where even if they can't show it to you in the moment of a live sale, they might say, oh, but I think I have this in my back inventory. Let me go find it for you. And so we do want our buyers, again, to feel like they can come here and they can at least communicate about what they want freely. At least. And I hope you guys know that. We don't expect you to have an ISO every single day, but if something, comes up and you want to put it in the chat, please do not hesitate. So bolos and belts. Yes. I sold one of your bolos on Saturday. The bolos, I think now are going to go, I think that trend will go like this because it's really connected to the Beyonce concert. So this young man, he bought it for the Beyonce concert. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a Beyonce trend. The chain belts, on the other hand, that trend, and and again, buyers, I don't know if any of this matters to you, but going on other platforms, you might see that particular items are very expensive. I say very expensive, but they're higher priced, and this is because eBay and Etsy and First Dibs, they'll charge up to 40% commission. I'm pretty sure First Dibs, someone correct me, if you can get on First Dibs, I think it's like a 40% commission. So of course things are going to be priced higher because the seller, they can't give 40% away to the platform and give you a deal. Here in Vintage Jewelry Addicts, all said and done, it's about 15%. Sometimes it's less. We do have 0% fee days for subscribers, which can, help the buyer to get even better deals. But, I would say overall, the fact that you don't have to pay to promote your listings, you don't, have to, basically you don't have to pay the man as much as you do on the other platforms. So as buyers, again, if you're looking for a designer item, if you're looking for a Hattie Carnegie, if you're looking for a YSL, jewelry piece, I do believe that the prices here on Vintage Jewelry Addicts will be substantially lower. And so don't be scared to ask for those pieces. And so back to my point, right now, chain belts on eBay are outrageous. I can't get them under $10. It depends. Sometimes I can, but I'll get 2 under $10 and then I pay shipping on 2. And I'm like, I don't want to pay shipping on 2. I want to get 8 chain belts under $10 each and pay shipping on that. So I've been working with David, Jamie, who's not here right now, and just being like, hey, do you guys have chain belts? Because I'd rather just buy them straight from you here. And I know that I can get an X amount at this price. And so, again, I share that because if you're an addict, I think that you do always want to get the best deal. And we want it to be a win-win. We want the seller to make money. We want the buyer to get a good deal. And we want to create a platform that is professional and has high customer service and high quality, and pieces that you might have difficulty finding elsewhere. Grails. Let's get some more grails here. So buyers, do not hesitate asking or suggesting. Again, with our trains, which are basically live sales series back to back, we will be diving into some different categories that we haven't in these coming months. And if a certain category is very popular, we will probably stick with it. For example, the sterling silver trade is very popular, so that's why that's a monthly trade. All right, guys, this was nice. I think for not planning this, I just sort of spoke from the heart. Moving forward, we'll have Jamie just tagging people. But if you do have a buyer, or if you are a new buyer or a new member of the community and you just hopped on, I'm going to reshare this link when I get off so that you can watch the replay. But I just want to really, with an open heart, welcome you to something that is growing, something that is designed for you, something that we hope one day you can say, oh, wow, Vintage Jewelry Addicts changed the way that I shop for jewelry. I've always had big vision, and there have been times where that big vision was very difficult to pursue because the software and the support wasn't there. And what has been so great about the software that powers Vintage Jewelry Addicts is that it has given us the tools as a buying community, as a selling community, as a collector's community to really create a model that, sorry guys, I just got a text, really create a model that is, how do I say, for the betterment of all. And yeah, so without further ado, guys, I'm Samantha. Feel free to message me at any time. Jamie, who's not here, she had to work today. She is Flippin' Vintiques, and she is oftentimes welcoming our new sellers. And if you are a new buyer, do not hesitate messaging her as well. I just tagged her so that you guys can follow her. And we will see you on the next Buyer's Welcome. We're doing this bi-weekly, so the next one will be in 2 weeks. Hi, Colleen. Hi, I think I tagged you, Colleen. Oh, some people are popping on that I tagged. So if you just popped on because you saw that I tagged you, please look for this as a replay. I'm about to announce it and put it in our community chat so you can watch it, because if you're a new buyer here, if you're a new member, this live was designed to communicate with you and to give you some pointers on how to use Vintage Jewelry Addicts. All right, guys. I'm going to go about my day. I have some packages to ship and lunch to eat. And I am grateful for you. Remember, this is a day that you will not get back. And so find your gratitude. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Sterling Silver Train kickoff. Yes! So our first seller goes live at 4:30 and our last seller goes live at 10 p.m. And Wednesday is our Sarah Coventry train, which I think kicks off at 6 or 6:30. I forget top of mind, but we have 2 back-to-back trains. I'm so excited. You as well, Elsie. Have a great day. Again, July 7th. You will not get this day back. Make it a good one. All right, guys. Thank you, David. Please DM me. I need them. See, guys, this is Vintage Jewelry Addicts in action. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 4. Okay, bye.